Welcome back to the Chess4Life Spotlight. I'm your host, Elliott Neff, National Master and founder of Chess4Life. And with me today, I'm very pleased to have Ken Lee, Vice President of Michael Wiese Productions, the #1 publisher in the world for books for indie filmmakers and writers. Ken, welcome to the Spotlight.
Hi, it's good to see you again, Elliott.
Absolutely. And Ken, it's been great getting to know you over the last couple of years here during the COVID shutdowns and your son getting involved in the game of chess. And that's how our paths crossed. Yes. Why don't we jump right in there and share just a little bit first about your work so people understand you a bit better, and then how you and your son got involved in chess.
Okay, sure. So I'm VP of Michael Wiese Productions. We are the #1 publisher in the world for books about filmmaking and storytelling. And interesting story. So January 1st of 2021, we do family movie night. And so it was my turn. I picked a movie that I had never seen, but was fascinated about, called Searching for Bobby Fischer. And lo and behold, we're watching the movie as a family, really engaged, thought it was a brilliant movie, really interesting stories, particularly the growth of the family and the growth of the young man as a chess kid. And at the end of the movie, my son turns to me and says, "That was boring. That was terrible." And I said, "Oh, I really kind of enjoyed it. What else did you think?" He goes, "But on the other hand, I taught myself chess." And I said, "What?" Because I said, "Where?" He said, "Oh, the teacher had a games app, and that one I really liked. Do you want to play?" So there began our journey of starting to play. And it had been decades, not months or weeks. It had been decades since I played. So I had to knight, rook, and we learned together. And fortunately, the apps that they have these days are so powerful that at the beginning level, you can't make a wrong move, in the sense that they guide you. It's like, no, you can't move there. And we started getting better and better. And I saw this light kind of, shine in my son's, like, this is really cool. But lo and behold, I ran into a friend of mine in Seattle, and I said, "My son's showing this really renewed interest in chess out of nowhere. It's kind of fun because, we're playing online, we're getting better, we're learning the pieces." And he said to me, he turned to me and says, "Chess4Life." And I go, "What's that?" And he says, "They're the online chess group. These guys are amazing. They're just really in touch with what makes chess special." In his case, he's been playing for decades. He was teaching his daughter, who took Chess4Life, and he says, "Try it out." And I said, "Well, what should I do?" Because I saw all these little tabs for, first courses. He goes, do the online premium. That will get your kid really started." So March of 2021, you can see I'm really into dates. We started Chess4Life online camps with online premium with the coaches. And this is obviously in the middle of the pandemic. It was safe. It was instructional. It was funny. The teachers and coaches would start classes by saying, "What is the best thing that you appreciate about today? Tell me about your homework." They didn't just launch into chess and, hope people would catch up. And then I saw the lessons, and my mind was blown. It's like, if anything can be taught online, chess can, because it's visual. There is, a give and take. There's instant feedback and so forth. And, my son's particular journey in chess, started to grow exponentially. He entered on his own accord, which was astounding to us, a talent show. And I shared that clip with you, Elliott. but in June, so this is only after a few months of playing, he entered the talent show of his school and played the after school teacher and did a little introduction about chess. And
Yeah, exactly. But that was fascinating. And now you're talking about this with your son. What age roughly was your son when he first watched that movie and told you, "Hey, I've already taught myself how to play chess"?
oh, let's see. So that was just last year. So he was 10. Yeah.
10 years old. So here you are as now a chess parent. Did you
Yeah.
ever imagine yourself being a chess parent? Was that on your radar to, someday I'm going to teach my son or my kid chess for whatever reason?
Not even remotely. I've had other chances and opportunities to talk to other parents, and some, like my friend, was a chess guy, and he said, this will be good for my daughter. I think she's going to get engaged. But for my particular case, it was a game I played a long time ago, not particularly well, didn't have any particular coaching or encouragement, was completely off the radar. But as a parent and as someone who is engaged with their kids, you hopefully gleefully follow their lead. If they're interested in a particular sport or hobby, and you see this light bulb go off and you see them start self-identifying themselves, it's just a wonderful thing. In this case, by the time June came around, he did the talent show. He did very well in that particular demo. And then that same June, the teachers at our lovely school, and they awarded him the well-rounded award, because they said, this kid plays chess, he does karate, he does violin. This is an interesting kid. And so he took it upon himself, and that's still to this day how he identifies himself, which makes me proud, because I think we're trying to impart the values that I saw in Chess4Life, the growth mindset, the persistence, the ability to take instructions and learn.
Yes.
And it's a marvelous thing.
Yeah, thank you for mentioning that, because that is, of course, the history of Chess4Life, where it's about teaching life skills and growth mindset and success principles and habits, healthy habits that would help someone achieve wherever they go in life. Right. So here you've come and joined, you've shared some of these things. It sounds like your son has been doing, a well-rounded series of activities, physical, not just mental, right? So it's a whole body type experience with this. Now that you've been seeing him play the game of chess, learn more, engage further, and as you had mentioned, chess was not even on your radar before this. No. So let's just talk for a moment why you have such a high view now of the value of the game of chess beyond just, it's interesting for him. You've talked about some of the benefits, the growth mindset. What other skills have you seen, or do you see chess helping develop in your son?
Well, in publishing, of course, we tend to read and research a lot, not only because of intellectual curiosity, but because if we're going to be spending time and effort on this particular topic, I want to know what other people are saying about this particular subject. So not too surprisingly, I kind of go to my bookshelf or do some research or talk to my friends and associates who have kids. And the comments from people who are widely respected, like Angela Duckworth, the author of Grit, talks about persistence in chess, and the other authors of note in terms of executive skills. It's like it's mentioned in many different references, in many different contexts, as a particular skill that can be built upon. And then with other parents, of course, that's kind of the interesting things. Chess is a funny thing in the sense that it's not that visible in the sense that we don't have an environment like a chess park out here. I'm going to change that maybe with your help, where it's so obvious that that's the place to go to play chess, and then people engage. You kind of have to mention it, and then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, the neighborhood's like, my kid plays, or my uncle plays. So initially during a pandemic, there was a lot of online games, a lot.
Mm-hmm.
As the weather got better and his skill set got better, then it became out on the park. And then one of the funniest things that we started doing in the summer of last year was our famous, let's go hiking and then bring our chess sets. So we would hike, take a break, eat some.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
And play a little chess. And then the reaction from people and hikers was always the same. They would like walk by us and goes, they're smart. Let's give them, let's be quiet. And they would tiptoe around us for some reason.
That's so neat to hear. You carrying your chessboard, like a travel chess set or whatever it is, and going on hikes. It would be fascinating to see what becomes your most unique place you visit and play chess in. So
like a lot of people, shelter in place has been difficult. It's suppressed our ability to travel. But most recently, we did go to Maui, and sure enough, there was a oversized chess set right by the beach. And of course,
awesome.
My son ran to it, and we had to play some games. And it's like, well, if you're going to be playing, the beach in Maui is not the worst place in the world to play.
That sounds like a pretty fun place to play some chess. So, we're talking about these benefits of chess. Let's dive into a couple more specifics, for people who might be listening who haven't played a lot of chess or just curious about this. We talk about the benefits. We talk about the growth mindset. In chess, it's a very personal game, right? Yeah. It is you. You don't have team members who might misplay the ball. It is you making every single decision without any aspect of chance, dice or the luck of the draw type of thing. Mm-hmm. So losing, right, getting checkmated can be a challenging experience,
right,
for children. So how do you see your son handling that, and how do you see it changing through activities?
We were one of the first, thanks to you, to sign up for the in-person camps that started this summer. And I asked my son if he was interested. He said yes, even though he had not played a lot of in-person before. And I just asked him recently, like, what's better about in-person versus online? He says there's more social interaction. I can make friends. The game competition is better, and he sees his scores every single day, and that tenacity of like wanting to come back and not feeling like just because he lost a game. So over the course of several weeks, one tournament, second place, another week, 8th place, another week, second, so he's having all that variety of experiences in the context of chess to help him think things through and to experience what life and business is a lot like. Daily challenges. Sometimes it goes your way, sometimes you're not, sometimes your opponent blunders, sometimes you blunder, sometimes your concentration level is off. And metaphorically, I always use metaphors because I'm in publishing, and that's my kind of thing. It's very easy for me to engage in conversations with my son about other life lessons related to chess, like not being overly aggressive without thinking about protecting your king, or the big one, the obvious one, thinking multi-steps ahead. The other thing of not showcasing your strategic plan in such an obvious way that your opponent sees it. So not only is it fun and and exhilarating in a way that I never imagined, where I can watch an online game, or even better, an in-person game, and you could literally see your son or daughter think. It's right there. It's on the board. It's like a visual representation of what they're thinking.
That's awesome. What I'm hearing you say is basically you're seeing through his play in this game the development of some of these skills, like patience, considering what's going to happen next, rather than, in other terms, impulse control.
Yeah.
Right. Slowing down, focusing, right. And at the same time, being willing to embrace the learning that comes when you lose, which can be a painful experience, and yet turn it into, what could I do to improve next time? How could I get better? And at Chess4Life, of course, we like to call this our famous win, draw, or you can learn. There's right. No lose if your mindset is one that failure is really steps forward. And I like to say fail is really an acronym. Right. First attempt in learning.
Right. I really have to commend Chess4Life for imbuing that attitude in all of your lessons, online and in person. Because there could be a situation where other camps or other instructors are all about winning at all costs, and if you lose, there's a lot of punitiveness. The other interesting thing too is that in karate, which has senseis, which is thousands of years old, and in music, which is in the case of my son, violin, there's a really consistent through line of like, the only way you can get faster is to go slow. You need slow and deliberate. And even in karate, this was an interesting statement that I shared with my son. The sensei said, when we are sparring, it's not that I am blindingly fast. It's just I know what the opponent is going to do before he knows. That sounds a lot like chess to me.
Thinking ahead, yeah, right? Anticipating what's going to happen and taking the time to do it. Excellent. Well, it's been fun already chatting about some of these things, and we've gotten to know each other a little bit over the last couple of years with your son involved with various programs, with chess and learning. What else would you share to other parents who might be saying, I'm looking for ways to develop growth mindset. I'm looking for doing these, I want the best for our children. Same for myself, right? My oldest at the moment, as we record this, is 11 years old, and turning 12 in the near future. I'm also, as a parent, growing, striving to do the best we can to give our children the best future they can. How important do you see chess now that it's on your radar as a vehicle or a tool in your tool belt?
I think that's a really excellent way to articulate it, and that I suppose that a lot of parents think it's a binary choice, like, if I do this, then something else has to drop. If I do this, it's going to occupy my child's time, and then God forbid I'll have to learn, which is intimidating for quite a few people, quite frankly. And I would say that the best thing to do is to expose your child to it. See if there's a spark of interest through playing, the benefit of playing, and then watch and see if there's a way to fold that into your child's other interest, be it hockey or baseball or rocketry or fishing. To me, I've seen more and more articles and more facts related to some world-class athletes in sports that seem like they have nothing to do with chess, but some world-class boxers, some world-class track athletes.
Mm-hmm.
Real obvious one is world-class fencers
Mm-hmm.
who like to think ahead. And I would say that it's a wonderful introduction. Just try it, try a little bit, taste of it, and then enjoy the ride in terms of getting better with your particular child. I've talked to a lot of moms and dads who said, this is never played. Now I'm playing constantly. And maybe I'm in the minority, I'm not sure, but I sort of enjoy my son coaching me. He'll say, maybe not. Why don't you rethink that one? And I go, oh, really? Like, why? And then he'll articulate, oh, thank you.
Right.
Let's start again. And I think that kind of mentality is good for kids, good for families. If we
exactly
as parents take a step in a direction where we are not very good at, and sometimes get a little bit better, then I think the world can open up as an opportunity where it's something and so he's playing a lot better than he did, and I'm playing better. That's just kind of the trajectory that I like to see.
Mm-hmm. And thank you for that response. And I see more and more people who have succeeded in their space who have used the game of chess in different ways, like you alluded to, the fencing, which sometimes has been called even physical chess.
Yes.
And this anticipation, this thinking ahead, I've seen it from NFL football players who are thinking ahead, from the famous quote from Wayne Gretzky about, I don't skate to where the puck is, but I skate to where it's going.
Exactly.
And so it's this planning, the strategic thinking versus that reaction, simply reaction, right? We want to be strategic, and we need to be able to problem solve in a position that is constantly shifting and changing.
Right.
And so it's really amazing to see these things. It's been really fun talking to you. Just a couple more things, just so our audience gets to know you a little bit better. Right. Sure. Here you are, VP of Michael Wiese Productions. And how long have you been in that role?
Decades. a long time. And I'm proud to say that everything that we talk about in terms of and how we first engaged in May of 2021 was the through line related to storytelling and about the journey that people are on. And of course, we have the book, The Writer's Journey. We have a book called The Pawn's Journey. Probably not too much of a coincidence there in terms of the growth pattern and the challenges that an individual takes on their path to self-discovery. It's not a linear path, it's up and downs with challenges. And I think, again, chess is a great metaphor for overcoming those kind of challenges in life. And I have met other people when we're playing or when they see my son playing, these people are really engaged. They'll walk right up to us and said, oh my God, my father taught me this game. And to this day, I think about that relationship, and I think about the life lessons all the time about, what's next? What can I do to improve my position? What can I do to think about what's going on versus the competitors out there? And they'll give us a thumbs up, and they'll politely kind of walk away. So there's some people that really embrace kind of like that mindset, which is, to me, kind of fascinating.
Right. It's kind of like a friend of mine, Robert Katende, from the Queen of Katwe project in Uganda, who likes to say that even if you don't know how the pieces move, you're always playing chess in life, because you're either thinking ahead or you're making a one move step. And so life is like a chess game, just the navigating through the possibilities. And now in another question I'd love to ask you as we get close to wrapping up here is, you've been so long in your role and you're a dad. On the personal or business front or both, what's one big accomplishment that you look forward to achieving, whether it be a lifetime goal, a 10-year goal, what is something that you are looking forward to achieving next?
We have a family Zoom every week to engage with our family and connect and so forth. And what is a particular goal at this time is to begin international travel again. We got our wings clipped a few years ago. I used to go to Europe quite a lot, and I think it would be stupendous as on a personal and professional level to engage in the international community again through the skill sets that I have had over the years. That makes it, someone was really nice at a particular event years ago and saying, you're really comfortable in your own skin, because I was the only American in a group of all Europeans, all speaking German, by the way. I speak enough German to get by. And that was such a compliment to me, because it was spoke to the concept of being an international world citizen. And the fact that I like to salsa dance is kind of an unusual side benefit. And it is another thing besides chess that you can do without speaking a word if I wanted to. And I have actually in Copenhagen and in France and in other places. I can go to almost any club or any boardwalk in the world. If I hear that salsa music, I can smile, put my hand out, and engage and dance with someone. Now that I have a family and a chess set, I actually, in my head, I think, my gosh, I really ought to go to Spain, dance away, eat the glorious tapas that I love, and then just open my chess set on the Ramblas and just have a ball and just see what happens. I think that would be a fascinating way to engage the world, reconnect with the world, do the things that I love, which is connecting to people and so forth, and use my new interests and skills in a way to engage the world in a bigger way.
That's awesome. That's awesome. So before I get to one final question, second last final question, how can people learn more about the work that you are doing, follow along, learn more about the company that you've worked with for so long and continue to appear to be so passionate about continuing to tell stories?
Oh, well, thank you. The easiest way is to engage us on our website, which is mwp.com, which stands for michaelweeseyproductions.com, or they can like us on Facebook. And we have a wide variety of books and authors that you can engage in. And that's when I'll do what I do really quite well, which is network. I wasn't shy after Justin started with Chess4Life, started in March. I reached out to you in May, and we've been talking and chatting ever since.
Absolutely.
I love to network and meet people.
So I'll be happy to post some links in the comment sections on this. And now for a question I love to ask everybody.
Yeah.
Knowing what you know now, what advice would you give to your younger self from, let's say, 20 years ago?
Well, everyone, I believe, has been very self-reflective during these past few years. It's the question that kind of pops up over and over again. It's like, my gosh, under these circumstances, what would you have done differently? And I have thought about it. It's not too surprising. I would say that to lean into your hobbies, whatever they were, and to challenge yourself earlier on and not be afraid of quote losing, there's a
Yeah.
growth mindset,
Yeah.
and to really embrace your family and friends. That's very critical during these particular times, and to travel. Travel is one of the greatest gifts of the world, and I know it's very challenging times these days for a variety of reasons and so forth. But I love the idea of the concept of the person that you are and the skills that you are that can help you bridge the gap very, very quickly. During shelter in place, my son was taking violin, and I looked at his violin teacher. I said, "Do you know anyone who could teach me guitar? Because it's been way too long." And she said, "My husband." So when we go to lessons, my son goes that way, I go to that way, and we have another way. And that, by the way, I'm not very good, but
That's awesome.
that is another way
Yes.
of engaging with the rest of the world through music as well. International community.
That is really cool, Ken. About in essence, what I'm hearing you say is take on challenges, do
Yeah.
it. Don't lose the opportunity.
Yeah.
And in the process, do it, because there is no losing in the effort you take, because you will learn, you will grow. The only thing you'll regret is not trying.
Right. And I do think in this particular case, as we stated before, that it's not a binary choice. It's not going to take over your life where you have to or need to engage in chess or any particular sport for 12 hours a day. It's just folded into your life, and you can use it when you travel or in between hikes or
That's awesome.
in between swimming or in between anything. But it is a very, very interesting tool set to communicate to your own family as well through the game of chess. A lot of metaphors come to mind about throwing a ball to your son, which I do, throwing a frisbee and engaging in conversations. That's all done and taken care of. But the other engagement of playing chess, or having him coach me, or having him excitedly bring a set and say, we don't have to play, but tell me what went on in camp. And so he'll set up the board and say, this is what happened.
Awesome.
This is what
building relationships through the game and through experiences.
Exactly.
Wonderful. Well, Ken, thank you once again for joining the Chess4Life Spotlight. Everyone listening, remember to like and subscribe so you don't miss out on new episodes as they become available.
Thanks. I really appreciate your time.